Hello, guys. Welcome to Kingsmindset808. I have a special guest again here.
Once
Second
again,
time, Kurt Dela Cruz. What's up, Kurt?
something must be special, brother. I get to be invited back into this really good space over here, bro. So all is well. My voice a little bit challenged today because I was in the homeland yesterday all day.
At the Ka'u Coffee Festival.
The Ka'u Coffee Festival. What an event it's turned out to be, man. There was literally hundreds of people there yesterday.
That's awesome.
Throughout the whole day. Bunch of entertainment. Bunch of for me, man, those kind of events is always like family reunion. Yeah,
Yeah.
You get to see people and stuff like that. Man, I saw two people yesterday that I have not seen probably since high school.
Wow.
That's many years, man. There's retirements in that story already, and that was Nelson Naboa and Ricky Sorensen, man, and Shirley, his wife, Shirley Saplan.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't seen them since probably graduation, and I think Ka'u is so filled with that kind of stories because that is truly our reality. And I talked about that, the last time we was
Yeah.
here about how many of us gotta move and we don't give up our membership cards and all that stuff like that. I realize I've had some friends who watched the podcast, the first one. Hey, that turned out pretty good, no?
Yeah.
Plenty of people watched it, not just Ka'u people, but people who just wanted to hear the messages and things we were talking about and stuff. And I realized that Exodus story, that's an island story. It happens in Samoa, it happens in Hilo, it happens in Oahu. It's an Exodus story of getting away from the island and seeing different things and stuff like that. For us in Ka'u, that was almost like even when had the plantation people had the Exodus. Yeah, we were all going to different places and stuff. I think what's different now though is the people who move away for many years, they feeling what we talked about in our first podcast, and that is the medicine. Yeah, the medicine.
The medicine.
Yeah, remember we said, man, I said like you start the DNA start waking up and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? So I think I've been able to put a term to that feeling that plenty of people get who cannot physically live in their homeland anymore, would love to, aspire to
Right.
come home one day, But every time they do come home to things like the Ka'u Coffee Festival, 4th of July Rodeo in the Alehu. There's a couple of things happening now that draws people back to Ka'u. But the ones who from Ka'u who had to leave, who come back, they know what the medicine is, and the people who live there know what the medicine is too.
Right.
When you live in the medicine, you might take it for granted a little bit. Yeah, you don't need to talk about the medicine if you're in the medicine every day.
You get the medicine every day.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just normal. That's how you live. You have that air every day. You're close to the ocean every day.
Right.
Pauhana, you like take your kids, hono apo, punalu, go jump water a little bit, play in the pond if they baby. Can. No problem. The medicine is there every day. For those of us who live in the more populated areas of the island,
Yeah.
or not even on the island, man, when you come back, Ka'u, now the medicine is making sense.
Yeah.
And so, is it worthy of, sometimes the word protection raises wrong flags for some people. Protection. It's such a term that has almost been aligned with things like activists, that have these, these flags go up for people. Yeah. So I'm careful how I use the word protection because I think at this phase of our long-term journey, consciousness, I think, is the most important thing. Yeah, Kiko.
I think so.
Consciousness to breed motivation to protect or to consider sacred or to consider ours even.
Yeah.
I think if that consciousness comes through, then I think more of us would be more willing to, not willing, but more comfortable with protecting and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like you said, the medicine part, I think a couple of weeks ago, I got to be the guest speaker at the graduation.
Yeah. I saw that. Right on. What an honor, brother.
It is, you
Yes.
know, it is. And, when you talk about the medicine, driving back to Ka'u for me, it was right around, Auntie Bertha Young guys, Wahinu turn. When they get that turn, it's like, okay, I still coming home now. You drive through Naalehu, then you go by the Pali looking over, you passing Punaluu, going home, and all of a sudden it does feel different. You feel them.
Funny, yeah. Some people had told me Manuka, they start feeling that. And these were the people who live in Kona. I think Manuka was their point for them. Well, you live in Kona. And what a landmark, to point out, because as soon as you do make that turn by the young Ohana, many of them are usually in the garage.
Yeah.
The tractors is on the right-hand side. Then you pass in, Ka'avahale over here. Yes, man. Waiohino welcomes you back. You feel the first medicine from Waiohino.
Yeah, because when I grew up, that's probably like usually the farthest I would go. Because my dad guys used to mow lawns over there, and that's kind of like where we would stay as the farthest we go. So I recognize that a lot. So when I take that turn, it kind of reminds me when I was young and what we used to do, and it's pretty good, man.
And Waiohinu, what a gem, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we always tell people we don't really use the word ka'u until we leave, when you in ka'u, so again, we have the medicine every day, right?
Yeah.
I'll go and walk up to you from Pahala, go, hey, I'm from ka'u. Nah, you from Naalehu, you from Waiohinu, you from Ocean View or Kahuku. You may be from, somebody said yesterday, Mark Twain. You from Mark Twain.
It's like even my friends who move Vegas and stuff, they meet other people from other islands who move too. And, now they're from Hawaii and everybody's together. Like normally if there's living on their islands, they probably wouldn't be even talking to each other.
That's right.
Because they move, they'll understand the medicine, and they all kind of hooey together up there. So it's pretty cool.
If we was to look at different pieces of the homeland, Ka'u, and Waiohinu, for example, and the history, and, I think in my lifetime, you remember Kauai Church, that was that really old Victorian construction when, when it got taken down, people were like flabbergasted, like, whoa, a major historical piece taken out. There were other people for colonialistic reasons, was like, good riddance, right? But nonetheless, Waiohinu, the glistening waters, Auntie Minerva, George Manio's mom, Auntie Minerva, Auntie Queenie Akiu, them, when they would sing the Waiohinu song. Oh, bro, so beautiful, and we took it for granted when we were there, and we'd hear them playing at the Makahikis or at Mede, things like that, when they would play those beautiful songs. I wish I had the ear to listen more carefully at that point.
Right.
Yesterday, Hula Halau Leo o Nalani. Man, I hope I said that correct, bro. Auntie Debbie Riders Halau in Naalehu. I believe in Naalehu they meet, but the kids and Ohanas from all Ka'u. Of course, several of the hula, plenty of the hula they do, their foundation is Ka'u base, so we see hula halau all over, bro. But to see one actually here where all the teachings come from, the mo'olelos and things like that from Ka'u, these areas. So of course at one point they get up and they do kanani a'o ka'u, right? That beautiful mele, right? Make a nani a'o ka'u, make a beauty a'o vai o palahemo, aloha no ka'u. Kiko. What if at preschool, kindergarten or whatever, we had to all learn that like the Pledge of Allegiance or something? What if at the Ka'u Coffee Festival yesterday, when that song come on, everybody stand up and we all do the hula?
That'd be awesome.
Huh? What is that, bro? Right? And so I see things like that, like you go to Samoa or you go to places like that, bro, the village, the people all together, they sing, bro. They sing, they dance together. Right now on the island of Oahu, one of the biggest gatherings of the Pacific area, the Festival of the Pacific. It moves all around in different areas in the Pacific, but it's in Oahu this week. Phenomenal, bro. Bro, all the canoes that came, all the culture, but more so all the reminders that this region is pretty badass, bro.
Yeah.
It's so vast and big and full of distinct cultures, but in many ways linked with each other because of the ocean. So the lifestyles is pretty much the same, right? So these villages, these people, they dance, they millet, they got common songs and stuff like that. Bring that back to Kanani Ao Ka'u. Can you imagine if all of us? Why not? No, why not? You know. So you guys Google it, begin at least learning the songs, be able to sing them. Whenever you come to an Ka'u event, maybe we all sing that together too. Yeah.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah, man. Because in my travels, yeah, you know, recently I went to Maine. Yeah,
Right.
like some Indian brothers gave me this stuff and things like that.
Oh, that's nice.
And they too. I mean, you got native people, your Ohana, you know, your Wahine, her side, you know, and they people of the earth, right? You know? And they too come together as peoples and have songs and ritual.
Yeah.
Why not Ka'u? Why not us? Hey, why not Puna, Hilo, all that? But you know what? Hey, Puna is very prideful too. That's the land of Pele. They got songs over there. But I think that concept of is every kid learning these songs from small kid time and all that. And not a matter of indoctrination. It's just a matter of pride and identity and unity and things that bond us, you know, bro. Yeah. So anyway, we keep dreaming, we keep doing,
Never know.
Yep.
Never know. I know, like, the last time we talked, you know, one of the biggest things that impact me was we talking about the uplift business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of hit me a lot. To the point where I made a shirt. The uplift business.
Yes, sir.
You know? But I wear them and just to remind me about what I doing and what we doing at, you know, in my realm of what I do. So I wanted to tell you thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just really inspire me about making sure we always uplifting people and stuff. So appreciate it, Kurt. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. You know, yesterday at the Ka'u Coffee Festival, speaking of uplift, man, I got to see a brother I consider to be a role model, somebody I love very much. Also from Waiohinu. Man, something in the water at Waiohinu, bro. You know, Conley Gali. I'm not sure if you know Conley Gali. Conley, I think, graduated in 81, Ka'u. So I've always known Conley from his Gali family, you know, in Naalehu and Waiohinu. And, you know, his dad is the legendary John Gale, you know, Opihi man, you know, things like that, former U.S. Marine. I guess I shouldn't say farmer. You're always a Marine, yeah?
Yeah.
If you in it. But Conley is because he worked for many years in Kahuku on Oahu. You know, many of us Ka'u, we got to leave, right?
Yeah.
But he was as inspiring at Kahuku for many, many students as he was for us when we had him here in Ka'u a little while. He was a coach on the football team. And then him and his wife, Corey, her father is a former police officer over here, Officer Basa. So they live in Salt Lake City, I believe, in Utah. But I got a chance to see him yesterday and thank him. You know, and I let him know, man, because I've certainly heard and met other students from Kahuku and places who have interacted with him and have shared similar type of descriptions of uplift. You know, it's so supportive, man. You know, and you know what I'm talking about, Kiko? I think that type of uplift that many young men crave. I think you can get unbridled support from a lot of men, you know, to say, hey, good job, you know, hey, you can do it, you know. But there's some brothers in the uplift business that just hit you on different tones and different levels and different vibrations. And Conley is one of them brothers, bro. You meet him till today, he still vibrate like that. So seeing him in person, you know, embracing him and telling him, man, hey, thank you, man, for all the things. And he and I both agreed, yeah, Kiko, all we doing is paying it forward. You know, we imitating some of the uncles, some of the brothers who showed us similar vibration. Okay, what is that, bro? Well, Conley was a football coach, bro. He's not a brother you'd probably mess with. So what is that, right? There's an air of toughness, man, that is attractive to brothers who need that kind of energy from other brothers in the uplift business. There's certainly connection, right? We build connection. We know who this guy is. We know who his family. There's that connection. But you know the part that get me, Kiko? is the embracing of brilliance. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Embracing of brilliance. I think Conley always struck me as a brilliant role model, somebody that I could totally trust, and listen to, right? Our challenge in Ka'udo sometimes is for every Conley we had. We had about 7 others who led us in different directions too, right? All positive, all love, man, guarantee, man. But I think you know where I'm coming at in terms of the uplift business and saying, hey, mahalo Conley yesterday, seeing him, So that was on the mana'o of the bridge, building your portion of forever. Yeah. Building pa'a slats.
Yeah.
And it seems like me and you hold that in common, that our slat, whatever it may be, is decorated in that, in uplift, in supporting others, in your line of work. I've seen you have to coach up a lot of people, and a lot of them have become successful, man.
Yeah, I do a lot of coaching.
Yeah,
a lot of coaching.
Yeah, what motivates that, you think, for you? Let's say from the very beginning, because you know what fascinated me is that you were young when you were already in management. You were probably having to manage older men.
Yeah.
People who probably wanted to challenge you and all that stuff. Easy for be like, how a lot of people, they'll be like, a lot of people will be like, that's why I don't take that kind of job, because I don't have to deal with people like that.
Yeah.
What made you go down?
It's simple for me. Is that business that I'm in, the car automotive business, it saved me in a lot of ways. It was hard at the time to make a living, right? And just to even, at the time I wanted to bring stability, buy a house, do all that stuff, right? I worked a ton of different jobs before I got into that. But I finally got into car sales, and when I got into the car sales business, I realized a lot of the stuff that I learned from when I was young was a lot of sports analogies and I was just so immersed with sports. So everything was similar with car sales.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started to bridge the gap together, like, okay, I can use what I learned in sports to be successful in car sales, because a lot of things is about skill sets. Then I started to get successful. But for me, the coaching part, what I'm looking for guys or local brothers who struggling with life, and I could be on resource to them, because, I feel like I blazed the trail for local guys, so I have an idea on how to learn the business really quick and be really good at this. And that's kind of where that's where I feel like I can help.
Build the bridge,
I can help you get this faster than I did, and I would love to see you to have the benefits that I get, and how it will help you, your family, your kids, and that's a lot of my motivation, is working with local people and trying to give them one avenue, because I cannot give things I don't know or I don't have. So I don't know a lot of things, but the stuff that I do know, I really do. And I enjoy watching people implement stuff that I teach them, and I see them flourish.
Mm-hmm.
And I that's the stuff. I feel that's the way I can give back. Specifically,
And you are delivering, bro. You taking that shot. You driving your team, because you in the business, where if you don't deliver, which is very different from my work in public higher education, right? You cannot deliver, and then we'll reevaluate, but they still get funded, right? They still in your world, if you're not delivering, it ain't gonna happen for you, bro, right?
Yeah, you gotta constantly be delivering. In our world, it's uses just as good as yesterday.
So it must be working, because not only in terms of sales and stuff, I've seen you have people in all different facets of the business.
Yeah, I went through the ranks, so
yeah,
I know how to help people in their, in their departments besides just selling cars, service, whatever. I've been through a lot, so it's my thing. It's my thing. That's honestly, that's when we talk about the uplift business, that's why it hit me so hard, because I get to put my imprint. And sometimes you do something for so long, you get the medicine for so long, you take the medicine for granted.
Yeah.
So, I cannot be taking my position for granted, and then I gotta make sure that I'm doing everything I can.
I'm gonna give you another piece to that, Kiko.
Yeah.
This one I got from my fraternity. One of our sayings is lifting as we climb. Yeah, so that's so important. I believe that's your kauness right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is what the medicine would raise you with, to be that way. That, yeah, in your business you gotta deliver. In my business, my delivery is students, man, graduating and stuff like that, right? Setting goals and stuff. But I think the common line is both you and I gonna get ours. We're gonna do our thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna pay our bills. We're gonna enjoy this life. But at the same time, we're gonna pull folks up at the same time too, lifting as we climb, right? So I think that's a cool thing. I want to tell you something that I've been noticing working with some young men, bro, which I think would be an interesting thing to talk about. So I've been noticing a pattern of young men and some young women, but mostly young men. And mind you, the numbers of young men in college now have dropped, okay, in almost every area, except, of course, trades and vocational ed. But in public, bachelor's degree, UH Hilo's, I believe, freshman male numbers are about 37% now, something like that.
Wow.
Used to be 50-50 not so long ago, but I saw it dropping and stuff. But anyway, in my meeting with some young men, as we sit at a computer and choose classes and stuff like that, I find myself spending a lot of time telling them, no, not that one. Wait, hit the back button. No. And why? Because they click in real fast, bro.
Oh.
They clicking. And so I asked them, because I have a 12-year-old, soon-to-be 13-year-old son who happens to be a gamer.
Yeah.
Okay? You're a gamer, Kiko.
No.
Okay,
Zero
and that's
gamer.
why you do your thing, right? but gaming has become such a big part of society.
Yeah.
Such a big piece of where this world is kind of headed towards and stuff, So many kids have been impacted by gaming that businesses are now reflecting. How would you sell a car to somebody who's been raised gaming, right? What is the marketing behind that? How are you going to reach those minds eventually, right?
Yeah.
So in higher ed, we're talking about a model, especially those who are on semesters that go like 15, 16 weeks a semester. You got midterms and all like that, just like your great-grandparents did. It's a model that's been around forever. 16-week grind, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 10:50, and even now sitting in front of a Zoom, right, at those times. And we're now still offering that style of education to a brain that is very different now, bro.
Yeah.
The brain very different, bro, now, and you have knowledge about that, with unfortunately with Rain's experience, to know about the brain and different areas of it and stuff. What I seeing with my son, and mind you, it leads to some moments where I gotta tell him, boy, you gotta slow down. I may not be as nice and calm, but to slow down, because his brain, if as soon as I come in and maybe I say, he left a shirt on the floor, I say, and I'll say, hey, Olu, on the floor, he's already had dropped his stuff and he's running to the room already, and I'm like, whoa, slow down, bro. Look me in the eye. Let's say, how's it real quick? How you doing? Shake my hand. Tell me, go to hell, anything, whatever. But let's acknowledge our space.
Yeah.
Right? And then, go and listen and go. I see some of the mistakes that he may do on his homework or on a test that, he absolutely knew the answer, but just kind of went by. But can you imagine if that test was given to him on that controller? That's his test that he's taking now.
Yeah.
And we're evaluating, getting all the data we need to know that he understands the concepts, but in game form. Boy, my son would be 5.0 on a 4.0 scale, bro. And plenty young boys would, bro.
Yeah.
But that is not the way we evaluate now. That's not the way we're delivering education now, And maybe there are some places that are certainly ahead of the game more so than others. But in big public higher education, like the University of Hawaii and other places around the country, that becomes more of a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you may, let's say, for example, I said this, what if we delivered the history major, okay, a history or something like that on Sony PlayStation or Xbox? But now there's maybe 50 modules, right? 50 games. Okay, and these 50 modules will cover everything there is in a 16-week semester. This gaming system, as they venture through D-Day or World War II, what have you, have them understand who were the leaders, who were the players, who were all these things that you would learn in a traditional history class.
Oh, they would learn fast.
Right? And what if a class that takes 16 weeks now get done in 7 weeks, 2 weeks? 2 hours. I don't know. But what if, right? If we start going down that road, well, that works with the mind of today, right?
Right.
But now being a businessman, you're gonna understand this concept. Higher education and the people who work there, these business models have been structured around you coming to campus for 16 weeks, bro. You buying a chicken loco moco at least 13 weeks of that semester, right?
Yeah.
Paying for parking. Utilizing facilities, how are we going to have a library if nobody coming to the library or nothing like
Less
that,
and less
right?
people go to the library.
Right? So there are these sheer realities now hitting us. For me, I'm looking at the brain. I'm looking at why is so many young men being more challenged now? And the ones who are doing good, what were their preparation, right? How did they get ready for it and stuff? I still didn't figure out no answers or conclusions for the second half, that second piece right there. But I can certainly see a different brain coming to campus.
Yeah. I mean, as far as what I do in sales, stuff that I teach is you got to speak their language. To really impact somebody, you got to find out how they speak and what is their language. And my job is to adapt to speak your language so we can be on the same page, so we can learn faster, we can get things done quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, these new kids, what is important to them now it's different from when I grew up or from you grew up. I mean, the way they learn, and, even my son, Sailor Boy, I mean, he's super smart. Like, on the iPad, he can do a memory game on the cards and he can get them all. But it's all like on iPad, and the way he get in his education too is not only traditional, but the new stuff. So I'm not too sure. I mean, I never go college, but you would hope they would be evolving also with the way they presenting information, I guess.
Can you imagine if your new workers or your new salespeople did not have that charge, and you did not tell them to speak the language, and you required these customers who came onto the lot to come up and speak our language? What do you mean you don't know what this is?
Yeah, we're not doing that.
But that's college.
Yeah.
That's college, bro. We making these students be like, what do you mean you're not, what, And not all the time, bro.
Right.
There are some new, younger generation faculty people, man, who trying. But, you've entered a structure here that's been in place, right? So you're almost going to have to work extra hard, and you become a star. And when you become a star, more things going to come your way, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's true. Like, if I operated the same way I operated as a manager a year ago, 2 years ago, I wouldn't be connecting the way I connect now. I'm always trying to figure out how I could do it better or connect with them, differently. Because sometimes the way I present stuff, it doesn't work.
Always evolving, yeah.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, then I start thinking, okay, I'm doing stuff wrong. So now I gotta approach this differently. And what is, and always adjusting, because we always gotta deliver every single day. We don't want room for relax. But it is true. Like, to get to people, you gotta learn. You gotta always relearn how to teach.
Kiko, I'm gonna tell you something. It's leading me into this thought right now. That's gonna be just as heavy as the whole Manava Nui, bro. Okay, and this will work, I believe, in the business world. Not I believe, I assure you it'll work in the business world. It'll work in parenting. It'll work in advising college students. It'll work in coaching. Oh, that's the one with the asterisk. Maybe we should come back to coaching that one, okay? But it has to actually evolve to that. And this is something that I've been learning in a lot more of my work in the Kanaka and indigenous spaces, and it is the value of good space, the space we share. Yeah? And so what constitutes the value of good space? Well, what I've been finding is there must be a welcome. Okay, there must be a welcome to the space, a formal welcome to the space. And so at the UH, we're doing some pretty cool things, man.
That's cool.
With some of the priorities in becoming a leader in serving indigenous students, right? And so we do what's called Kipai Pai at the University of Hawaii. And what that is when a leader comes in, we hire a president, a dean, or something like that. We do Kipai Pai. And kalamai to anybody who I'm describing Kipai Pai, and if I miss anything or if I misrepresent it. But basically, it is a welcome, okay, that includes drumming, that includes a formal space, the blowing of the poo, sharing of ava even, and especially at the end, lay, But what that signifies is, so many times in the Western world, in search committees, we're looking at your desirable qualifications. We look at where you've led before, what kind of grants and money you've brought into the organization. And those kind of things put you ahead of the line in getting hired for these jobs. So cool, there's that piece right there. Yeah. You was the best person for the job and you got hired for it. But now you got to come into the Kipai Pai, right? And the Kipai Pai, it's basically a ceremony that tells you, hey, welcome, man. Man, we're happy to have you. But if you're going to work over here at the University of Hawaii, there are some of these core things, man, that a leader does, okay? Or that somebody new to the group does, right? Mm-hmm. So safe space, once again, has a welcome. It has a welcome with an expectation, but not in a scary way. It's welcoming, man, because the power of belonging to that space is transformational, whether it's two people like me and you opening them up and talking story, or a safe space for 20 people in a staff meeting, whatever. A safe place where people can share and not feel scared.
Yeah.
More easier said than done.
It is.
Diversity sometimes can be our greatest blessing and biggest curse all at once. Because get multiple languages in the air at one time, yeah, Kiko?
Yes.
Right?
Multiple languages. Like, I can have meetings in service, which there's a lot more employees, and it is a goal of mine to when I have those meetings, maybe some serious meetings or things that we got to fix or whatever, like, my goal is to make it a space where people can speak up, can say. And it's hard to develop that space, So
because that space not only welcomes speaking out, that space in allowing anybody in your team to speak out, that space is saying, hey, I value you, like for real, kind, Yeah. Like, and if you hurt and you aggrieved, I like you be able to talk story, whether you got to come see me or you like tell them to the group. Because sometimes with the group, our sensitivities kick in, right? You be like, damn, I wish they never shared to the group, right? But they're important to the team.
It is. Right? When somebody speak up, it is important for it. My response is important. Sometimes people say things that I don't agree with, and I got to watch how I take that criticism or their feelings about the subject that we're talking about, and I gotta address it in a careful way where that I appreciate their feedback, and sometimes at the time I personally inside I was like, bro, what the hell, right? But when I think about it that night, what they said, because it affects me so much, then I start looking at it from their perspective and go, they might be right. So that allows me to go back to work and make adjustments. And like you're saying, like, creating safe spaces is super important.
Would you describe in that next element of the safe space, we talk about the welcome first, so the next element of the safe space, we can be vulnerable. Yeah, in that space. That's kind of a tough one, yeah, bro, because that assumes that everybody comes with a certain training.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I'm gonna move vulnerability down one. I'm gonna replace that next one with authenticity. And your authenticity is not made in that space. You bring authenticity to that space in your everyday actions with your workers or my students or my coworkers. People know if you are authentic, because if you try to be, if you are inauthentic and then you try to be authentic, it's really gonna smell. It's not gonna come off right and stuff. But a safe space gotta have authenticity. Because in that authentic space, man, you might have to fire somebody.
Yeah.
I might have to tell a student, you're not going to be a nurse. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it's so authentic that it's caring almost. Yeah, it's caring. It's caring about them for the next step and things like that. And that, my brother, I get that from native spaces. I don't get that from the Western space. That native space, they light fire, they burn sage, they us guys leave pa'akai, we land-based stuff, I mean, I get the sacredness of the space. And again, those are flaggy words, right? Go, sacred space, no, now they get it all. No. But it to be authentic. Because our authentic selves come from there, right? Come from Ka'u, come from Punalu, our authentic selves. What do you think when we see our friends, our most authentic pigeon come out? Our authentic stories come out. Our shields go down and we just can laugh.
Relax.
Belly aching laughs, right? That's your authentic self. Imagine if you're able to package that in a leadership model and bring that into spaces that you work with people. My brother, that's my quest right now. Everywhere I step, every training I take, every bump on the head, every life challenge, to add to that authenticity, to create good space.
Yeah.
Because go and get plenty stuff with our fight for Punalu'u, whatever, where I may disagree with folks, but I never want to share toxic space with anybody.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And that's come with some goodbyes, bro. It's come with some moments where I've had to tell people that I've known. I cannot say they were friends.
Right.
Because as you get older, you get wiser, and you look back, you say, well, my friends were these folks. But I knew a lot of people, right?
Right.
Who may have considered you a good friend.
Yeah.
Man, I get so many like that, Kiko. So many people I kind of know, they consider me a good friend. And I guess, hey, that's probably a byproduct of authentic space, right?
Right.
But I realize as I pursue more authentic spaces, that kind of energy, it kind of drains a little bit of your mana.
Yeah.
And I'm done with the mana draining business. So I have become more authentic in letting folks know it's been cool, bro.
Yeah.
One dude got really offended, man. We were having lunch. He was a friend of a friend who found me at UH through the directory, but because he mentioned some people who I love, I said, yeah, man, let's go have some lunch. And his energy struck me so bad, Kiko. I've never done this in my life. About 10 minutes into it, bro, I waiter.
Wow.
Check.
Nah, but
what, bro? What in my world have ever done that, bro? I do now.
Because it's important.
The space that I keep is pretty important, bro. And both of them both of those experiences threw spears at me. That one in where I had to leave, bro. What he said? He said, man, that's kind of female. You all up in your feelings.
Yeah.
And I was like, true Jedi master, bro, just dodging spears. Sing,
Matrix.
sing. And then I was like, my light shines brighter than your insults, fool. But I ended the lunch and I wished him well, man.
Yeah.
I really, in a very authentic way, I wished him well, man. And I said, I gotta go, bro. I cannot share space with you. Another one recently, I just kind of shook hands. I was like, brother, your energy, how we go around like that. I know can't do that nowadays. But man, take care, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm done with the hate there before. Could be like,
Yeah, for real.
F him, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel that way about folks no more. The light shine different now.
Yeah. Just wish them well.
in a very authentic
Yeah,
way.
you just wish them well, and you go do what you need to do, and you be authentic to yourself.
Because they may come back.
Never know.
You know, that light, that light is a warm light, bro, that shine, because people go back and now they begin to be, because they know, bro, brother Kurt, bro, if if I always used to tell people this, man, because I ask questions. I ask a lot of questions, I said, no, no feel concerned or agitated or whatever if I ask you questions. When you really should be concerned, if probably Kurt no ask you nothing already.
Yep. Exactly. When you just don't want to even ask anymore, that's on red flag. That's an issue. Already. It's like no sense already.
Yeah.
Give up.
The difference between this phase now, though, for me, bro, is those people I have to cut off. They say peace comes with a lot of goodbyes, and the people I do have to cut off, there's never a locked door.
Right.
If they ever share more space, sure, but we share it on different terms.
Yeah.
This is how you gotta step if you come in this space.
Yeah.
And that's been some heavy spaces, bro, that I've shared with some brothers.
Yeah.
Some family members even,
Yeah.
One of them, bro, I'm not gonna mention any names, man, but he had said, I think I had made a statement. I was like, hey, I apologize that maybe we can share a good space right now. And he was like, you don't need to tell sorry, bro. You don't need, I porno, bro. You don't need to tell sorry. And I was like, no. I say that sorry for me and all like that. But he was like, I porno, bro. You don't need to say no sorries or apologize for nobody. And you know what I told him, bro? I looked him in his eye and I said, brother, your porno offends me, bro.
Wow.
Your porno offends me. Because sometimes we use that very sacred word porno like it's cologne or something. Yeah? It's a little bit
Little porno.
I porno today, right? And porno has everything to do with all these things we've been talking about, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I think if you share good, authentic space, you are keeping it in at least porno-ish.
Yeah.
Get greater things kind of decorate in that space, yeah.
No, 100% right.
Yeah. Kiko, let me ask you this, man.
Yeah.
What has been the Alaska Ohana experience like for you, man?
My fiance's family, man, the first time I visited Kotzebue, their style, even though it's so far away, like Kotzebue is above the Arctic Circle.
Oh my goodness.
Bro, that's far.
That's like History Channel kind.
It's up there. But the way they operate though.
First of all, how do they get up there?
Fly. You only can fly in there. You cannot get in there anywhere else. You cannot drive in there.
I thought
Fly.
you mush or something, man. Yeah. Cowboys, we get the
No
dog called,
way,
hit him.
No, they upgraded, now they get like not jet skis, but like snowmobiles and
and all
stuff
that.
like that. But
Okay, so did you land in the main airport in Alaska,
in Anchorage,
and then
you
from
fly.
Anchorage you take one small plane?
yeah, but hour and a half you go, like one size of the kind, one inter-island plane.
And what is that scenery like?
Just either, though, depends on the season, right? So either it's just all snow or a lot of green, So
Small town? When you
small
get up
town,
there?
that's exactly what I wanted to say, because when I flew in and when I got to go experience the town, it reminds me of Pahala. Like, I'm serious.
Pahala of the Arctic Circle.
I'm serious. Just get a lot of snow. But, like things like you walk into the grocery store, everybody looking at you. Everybody know everybody, and it's a small town. But what makes me, the first time I came back from Kotzebue, I was just blown away that even though it's so far, the values from when I grew up is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people share stuff, right? So if somebody go fish, they'll catch a bunch of fish, they'll keep some for their family, but they'll go off and give the remaining, fish to like the elders because they cannot fish anymore. And a lot of their, a lot of way they get their meat is because it's so far away. It's through the lands, moose, caribou, salmon, sea fish. They hunt for them, but just the part of the respect for the elders and know that especially if they're widow, Papa not there. They try their best to take care of each other as best as they can.
Wow.
And from the first day I ever did reach at at their house, the mom and dad is like, "Fu aloha," more than happy to take care of me and make sure they feed me and make sure they give me the warnings around living in that area, because it's such a different area.
It's a kipai pai, bro.
Yeah.
Welcome you into that space.
They're so traditional. They keep the traditions alive as much as they can.
They speak their language.
Huh?
They speak their native language.
The mom does. The mom does try to speak. She tried to teach Sailor Boy some of the language too.
Yes, so important.
Yeah. And then like their last year, 4th of July, Sailor Boy did a babies contest. He got to be 2 years or under, but they dress him up in authentic
native dress.
Authentic, bro.
Wow.
Like polar bear fur for real, wolf for real, caribou for real. Like, and they make things so they can wear, and they have this contest, and then they do the dancing and all that kind of stuff. So it reminds me a lot about Hawaiians. They're just so far, even like the stories that the mom share, like fireballs and all that stuff, and the things you do when on Fireball come that that their parents was talking about. It's the same thing that that we grew up listening to. But you Google Kotzebue and you go look how far away Hawaii, but then the stories is very similar to Hawaii. It's crazy, bro. So if you like know how I feel about it, so I just feel like their family just they're far away, but the values is pretty close, man. Pretty close.
That is so cool, bro. Do you think they losing their language over there, or got enough people who speak it? And
I believe there's just kind of like us. Like there's a lot of people. I mean, there's people who trying to preserve it, and then there's people who just kind of moving with modern times. But I know that they try their best, man. Especially like my fiance and their family, like they try their best to keep that culture alive, So it's there, and they're really conscious of it too. Super conscious, yeah.
You got to eat anything funky?
What I ate the first night I reached.
Which by the way, let's say our reality. If you come from Pahala, anything funky could just be normal food, right? I should just backtrack and say, so what did you eat when you was up there?
First night I ate that was caribou stew. That was different. It was real gamey, but it was still delicious. What else I ate?
Like more gamey than goat.
Well, I never really eat gamey goat.
Just goat.
Well, it's kind of gamey, but at the end it was still good. What else? Seal oil. No more really. No one really on taste, but they dip stuff in seal oil. That was different. Besides the moose.
So you never eat whale or nothing like that, right?
Blubber or fat and stuff like that. I took up pieces of that.
What would you? It's maktak, yeah.
Maktak, yeah.
What would you compare that to? Anything we may have here in Hawaii?
Whale fat, seal fat. No,
nothing.
Nothing.
So
it's
is it
different.
what? Is it like not? Like, is it dried? Like dry aku kind? Or like what? Like, is it preserved, fermented? What? Salted.
Probably salted.
Yeah.
Like I don't really get into like.
Kiko, you gotta pay attention to these kind of stuff.
I don't. I don't. But it's just I'm cruising and talking, and it's like if we presented food, and not asking questions.
Yes. You're right.
But they just present it, and I feel like trying my
like us, no smell, right? Just eat, right?
Eat them. Yeah. Just grind them. But I don't know. I never did like I never get to the point where I was there long enough to like do the process of making the stuff. Like literally going. I don't think I can. I'm not allowed to go kill whales and stuff.
So the town is like what? Like on reservation? Like is it like they run their own thing, or is it part of the state of Alaska?
It's part of the state of Alaska. It's like I said, it's just like a little Pahala town, you know, right next to the ocean.
Yeah.
Like the back of her house is maybe like 50 feet away from the ocean. So, you know, they also have like a campsite across the ocean on cabin that we use on small plane to get to, like on 4-seater plane. So we fly in. I went to the cabin, and that is no electricity, no nothing. That's on like a legit cabin. When I landed there, they had like unheard of muskox cruising, like real wild. You know, use the bathroom is on open, full 3 walls facing the ocean, and you know, it's like real rural. The only thing that we had was, I think, propane for the stove.
Now, how you and meet this sister? She was here because I know you know as much as you know Eskimo dogs up there or not.
No, in Kona. We met in Kona. So, you know, we just built a relationship from there.
Cool. You know, I was in Maine last week. I went up there for this one group with the University of Hawaii, but I got a chance to spend time at the on the Canadian border almost with this one reservation, the Maliset Indians, I believe, up there. And it is a small town too. They get tribal housing, they get all this stuff. It's largely dependent on, you know, a lawsuit that took place in the back, or a settlement, not a lawsuit, a settlement. And as recently as like 1980 that paid these groups like 80 something million dollars. And at that time sounded like a whole lot of money. But if you look at it now, get sports people who sign contracts for 3 times that, right? And so they've built some tribal housing and stuff, but they still depend on a lot of different things. But what I did like is that they the river people, and they're the people of the river over there. And so over the years, them rivers got so polluted because of the logging industry. They've been going there, hemoplenty rocks, so that the logs flow down good, and the rocks was the thing that kept the ecosystem in place, right? So for a long time was polluted, but now they're beginning to see big improvements. But like, it's almost like, you know, you go in a Pahala or something, you turn by somebody's house, oh yeah, that's our lab right over there. So, you know, just imagine Pahala people have taken control of everything having to do with Pahala. And I saw this at that reservation, bro, where they had their own little community center, their own little senior center, their own little, and it's not huge. They may only have 5-6 people in there, like Pahala Hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's so contained, and they so take care of their own stuff, bro. It was so cool, bro, to go in there and see that. And I think we see that in a lot of the small communities, the very strong indigenous ones.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked the question about language. Because a lot of places, once you lose the language, you begin to lose a lot of different things. One time when I was in Ponape, bro, Micronesia, I had to go use the bathroom someplace. They told me, oh, you go down this trail and stuff, get on place you go. And I passed. And I remember I passed like one small house here, bro. And I swear I went here, Wheel of Fortune being watched, bro, in there, you know, in Ponape, bro, out there and way out in the forest, bro, you know. And it made me think like, wow, you know, America and English and Western influence and all like that, it has zapped up a lot of the language, you know, places. So a few months back, we had one contingency of people who came from Guam, and you know, the native Guam people, they're the Chamorros, and they have opened their first Chamorro immersion school. Wow. Yeah, and they built it after the Punana Leo model, you know, from Hilo, that's been there since you know, when a small group of parents got together and educators and, you know, a whole collective of things began building like these first cohorts of kids, right? And now what, they're on to the 3rd generation of Olelo, you know, speakers. And what came with 3rd generation speakers, man, can I say the Mauna? Can I say a bunch of different things? But you look at now the level of Hawaiian consciousness and practice and all these pieces, it's just hundreds of miles ahead from many different places I visited, bro. Wow. You know, and it all come down, I believe, to the language. Yeah. You know, so the Chamorro guy had said when he was in Hilo, he said, yeah, we came to Hilo because we knew this where the medicine was. And so now get plenty of people from all over the world who actually come to UH Hilo and visit with the College of Hawaiian Language, Ka'aka'ulo. Because got some minds over there who know how to revitalize language, you know.
Interesting.
You know, maybe we go get Punana Leo branch up there in Alaska. Kiko, right on, man. We've been going on, man. I really appreciate you having me in this newly improved space. It was pretty nice the way you had them before, but now it's like look like you can have a rectangular table discussion here.
Trying to fit 4 guys at one time and trying to get the right angles. Trying to improve it a little bit here and there. Just
speaking of the right guys, one of your guests that you had on here, the one and only Ravel Oats Kaupu.
Yeah.
At yesterday's Kau Coffee Festival,
Yeah,
he wins the grand prize.
That's what I seen, man.
Brother, I tell him, bro, I could not think of a better person to know, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I said, God take care of good people, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome. He posted on Facebook and Instagram that he won the award. I was super happy for him. He does a lot, bro. A lot.
$1,000, bro. That's a pretty nice prize at the end, right? That's why, bro. Usually crowds will filter out at, but even plenty of people stay. Note to event organizers: give your best prize at the end, right? You know, so. It turned out to be good though. It was good to see everybody.
Nice. Well, yeah. I mean, anything else you want to talk story about?
Man, I think I think based on yesterday all day, all night, coming here now, I think my mind is purely on should I get the Costco chicken or not?
Get him.
Right? I always tell people, look, this business model is based almost like that's a free chicken. Don't leave that store without your free
Gotta
chicken.
get that chicken, bro.
Yeah. It's your free chicken that, like it's no, you're paying $4.95. Nah. You coming in there and spending $500. Take your chicken.
Take the chicken, bro. I mean, I live here now, so I take for granted the chicken. I forget when I used to live here. I'm like, bro, I gotta get the chicken. It's a good deal, bro. Things no. Yeah.
It is, man. I look forward to expansion. This good space, more visits.
Yeah.
I look forward to your expansion and the vision that you have for this space.
Yeah.
And I love to be a part of making that happen, Brother Keeks. Thank you.
Yes.
I think
always.
you're a good portal, a good messenger for not only a lot of Kau things, but a lot of uplift business things, man.
Yeah.
And for those who have the patience to stick around the whole time and listen to our whole conversation.
You'd be surprised, You'd be surprised how much people, watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate you coming in and talking story. I always enjoy conversating with you. You always give me like a whole different perspective or broaden my perspective, and I love it, man. I enjoy you. Thank you so much, bro.
Likewise, Kiko, man. I soak up just that good energy from you too, and you focus in a world, in the business world that I'm not in, but to see so many parallels, and how so many human things we talk about can work in any space,
can.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, bro.
I appreciate, love you, bro.
Love you too.
Right on.
Yes, sir.
Oh.